So you are, first of all, you are protecting your brand. You wouldn't want to, soil it with any other thing. So let's be very much specific. And what we also have on board, before I will be prepared to, partner you, I'd want to see how much of your effort you're also investing in what you are bringing on board. Don't just put the thing on paper and tell me that this is what I've done, and I think if you bring X, Y, Z, we can get to this. Before I bring X, Y, Z, what are you putting into it? That is showing that indeed you are ready for this. Don't just cook something, because as soon as you do it that way, then the person sees, oh, okay, he wants to milk me. He wants to ride on my shoulders so that he will stand tall. No. Let it be so clear so that the person knows that, okay, yes, even if I'm not going to get any monetary returns from it or even anything, at least it's going to give me that leverage. If I'm a business, at least I can market my products to whoever your audience are. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Today we are all talking about simplicity, refining, being clear, and then getting the right partnerships, and aptly put by Foster. And that's why he's focusing on insurance. So he has been working 11 years all in the insurance industry. So I know what he means by that, consistency. Okay, last batch, as I said to Cedric. In fact, you compressed everything in your presentation. So this very final one, I want to look at still on media and publicity. Any special skills, any special things you think young people or youth groups should be aware of that would help them take their activities to the next level? Any special thing they are missing? I know you spoke about it somehow, but this is the very final batch, so you can talk about that.
Okay, forgive me, and forgive me that I would have to also share once again in what just a brief, because is it Majid? Marek, I mean, yeah, he has made a very fantastic point that I so much identify with, and because there are young people here, there's an example that I normally put out there to feed into his theory for a pound, an extra pound for a pound. That when, as young people, the best example of putting out a proposal that you can relate to it is, when you are going to toast a lady, and he said being emotional. Now, so the gentleman here will identify with it, and I share this example because it's a forum for young people, that when you approach a lady can tell from how emotional you can be or how you are to your seriousness. You can't just put out those words and say, I love you. How you move the words will tell the lady if you are truly, in love. And you also realize that all ladies are not equal in your approach when you are, going to toast them. So if there are 5 different girls that you want to reach out to, there's a lady you can meet just at the back of your house and move those words. But there are some ladies too, you need to sit down, make a call, and say, let me take you to where? Afekiko. You understand? That is also the level of a lady. So he was talking about the proposal, and I think this example should register in your mind that when you are moving those words, you should be mindful of the kind of donor that you are dealing with and what the donor is bringing on board. If I'm giving you 5,000 Ghana and he's giving you 10,000 Ghana, you should know that the language and the infographic stuff will be different from the two of us. You cannot put the same words to the two of us. You understand? I think it is just an example that I need to put across. Okay. So what specific can young people put out there is the theory of learning, relearning, and sharing. The temptation of some young people is that when elected into office, whether SRC, union, or when given opportunity as heads of organization, one thing that the temptation is to think that they have enough information or enough knowledge, to execute. But that is not entirely true. most often, even the people that are around us or the people we lead are those who have more information than us. But we are privileged, to be leading them. So in terms of publicity, what I want to move for is that we should have open arms in terms of learning the latest tools, learning on what is up there that people are using as the latest media, the latest information in reaching out there, so that you always be current, you always be moving with the flow, so that you will not be left behind. Because day in, day out, features on Instagram, features on Twitter, features on Facebook are changing. They're updating. You understand? Before, there was no Facebook video live on Facebook, but now there is. You understand? So the constant, desire to seek for information, to learn, to reach out, I think is something that we all need to aspire for.
Right. Thank you, Cedric. Questions from the audience? Do we have our questions written on the sticky notes? Or you want to ask any questions? Right, my lady. Do I have to pass this on? Okay.
Thank you very much. Before I begin,
Sorry, your name, please.
my name is Ivana.
Ivana.
African Youth Network.
Right. Right.
And first of all, I want to say thank you very much for creating this safe space for us to speak. I have a question for
Ghana Think.
Yes.
Sedina.
Sebina. All right. I wanted to find out how the Ghana Volunteer Program works.
Right.
So, the Ghana Volunteer Program is like a group to match volunteers with volunteer opportunities, right? So, there's a portal where you sign up, or you can just send an email, or when you participate in a particular volunteer activity, they pick your details and they add it to the database of volunteers. So let's say on 21st September, which is the National Volunteers Day, people organize volunteer activities and new people join. So probably you need, Ivana, you need someone to join you do something. You just send an email to volunteeringghana@ghanathink.org, then they'll take it up. So we'll reply and tell you, okay, where do you need this? Whom are you interested in? The kind of people. So they send emails to the particular target of individuals you want. So you can get the committed individuals. So I know usually there are several people that sign up or people that request to volunteer on a particular project, but they are shortlisted anyway. So they sieve it, and they do the work for you anyway. They sieve it they get the very committed people to come and help your project to reach the impact you want to make. Have I answered your question?
So how do you measure commitment? That's one. And two, is there a particular format to apply? Because you're talking about, most of the time when people ask for volunteers, so they try and be more specific these days. So we need someone to help us with photography or to help us with social media, etc., etc. Is that inculcated in your recruitment platform, or it's just general? I want to volunteer.
Okay, so yeah, that's also part. With how Victor joined the volunteer team, I'm sure he had what he wanted to do anyway. So before you become a part of it, we need to identify what you can do, your skills. But we believe in growth as well. So assuming you come on board with skills of photography, we believe as time goes on, you should be able to say, I can do things with logistics, basically. And how we measure commitment is, once we send you on a volunteer activity, we reach out to the person that asked for you. So we ask, how did they go? Like feedback, basically. So the person gives feedback on whom, and we know there are people on the platform who are not active. But when there's an opportunity, they want to go, and eventually they don't appear. So that's how we measure impact. But me, what I've realized is sometimes I even get dropped on volunteer activities. In as much as I'm part of the team, I get dropped because so there was this activity happening in Kaswa. I signed up because they knew I attend more like technical tech stuff, and sometimes this cleanup things. When I signed up, it was a reading project. When I signed up, I was not shortlisted because they knew eventually I will not go. Or sometimes I'll say, okay, this cropped up, I will not make it and that thing. So they actually know whom they're actually working with. Basically, you volunteered before, so they know why you should be there and what you can put on the table.
My final question.
Ivan.
How do organizations like these partner with the Ghana Volunteering Program?
Okay, so there's a
And the process is
there's a website, so you can reach out to any Ghana Think member. First off, we are everywhere. You least expect it. You can reach out to us on Twitter anywhere. Just tweet at us, volunteer in GH, or Barcamp Ghana, or Ghana Think at volunteer in GH. So when you reach out to them, they are very active. They would reach out. They will ask you what you want. And you can also go to the website volunteeringh.com or .org. It escaped me a bit. You can sign up, add your volunteer activity there, then we'll share across our networks whom and what the person who is interested in all.
So the same as the volunteer, Ghana Volunteer Program.
Yes.
Facebook.
Yes.
There's a Facebook name as well, Ghana Volunteers Program. And I think I've seen that it's very active. So you post there and they can.
Volunteer in GH, Ghana Volunteers Program, GVP, basically.
In fact, that was supposed to be my very final, and so you've used that opportunity. I was going to ask, where do we get these volunteers? And for people who want to build their skills, where do we get these opportunities? So that addresses it.
I think you can as well reach out if you are in a particular city in Ghana and you think you need people from. So we have bar camps across Ghana in every city. So you can reach out to the particular. If you say, let's say Twitter, it's at Barcamp Tema, at Barcamp. You can just add at Barcamp and add the city. So we have in Accra, we have Tema, we have Kaswa, we have Accra, we have, I think, Adan. There's so many too. So you can just reach out to any of these groups and do channel it to the right quarters.
Right. And they are very active. I can attest to that. Very active on Facebook, Twitter. I mean, you just reach out and they get back to you. So let's make use of that. Any other questions from the audience? Any? Right, yeah. Oh, you can say it. Camera, yeah, we can reach you. Yeah.
I'm Richie. My question is, I found out that there are small groups here, and in one of the presentations, the complaint was that due to their number, people find it difficult to give out to them. So, since they have vision, aims, and all those kind of things, why wouldn't they make it like, let us become a merged group so that we can be in small communities whilst we have one group? Because I identify that all of them are trying to reach out to the underprivileged and the rest. So why would they do it in that sense so that they can have a large organization whilst they have a goal and mission that they are embarking on? Is this something that is possible?
Right. Richard wants to be Dr. Addison, talking about consolidating banks. I can see you are in the spirit of consolidating enterprises. Anyone wants to touch on that? Marie? Yes.
I think there's a question to that. The question is, do they want to? That's the big thing. If they don't want to, then they don't want to. I can see why you want them to, and I can, from my perspective, see why they should. And from my perspective, if I was a donor, see the thing about every time you give out funding, it's not just, you don't just give out funding. It's taxpayers' money, especially when it's coming from there, so we're quite strict about it. But if you give out money, there's a lot of work that goes behind making sure the money is used for what it is used, the administrative cost of funding. A lot of donors, I can tell you for a fact, are shifting towards funding conglomerates rather than funding individuals. For example, like I said, I just came down from Tamale. all the 5 organizations I went to do some work with have had to come together as one group. Simple reason is, for donors, it makes funding easier. So you get one lead organization who decides to take responsibility for all the others. It does not mean the donor is not concerned about all the others. We'll still, carry out our due diligence on all the others. But it makes the administration of grants and funding a lot more easier, because I just have to deal with one group of people rather than 6 or 7 individual little ones. It's easier also dealing with bigger units than it is, not just the cost side of it, but administratively it's easier dealing with big organizations than it is to do with smaller ones. So I don't want to hammer too much on that, but the question I always ask myself is, why are there so many little organizations around? But I have come to understand the bigger question is to them as to whether they want to come together. So I think that's a visibility thing. We want to be the visible people, but I don't know that. I don't want to know either. So it's just, it is what it is.
So that's for all of us to decide. Do we want to remain small, scattered, with less impact, or we can think about ways to partner, come together, support, and then have a more formidable force. So that's for all of us to.
Can I say, you don't need to be one organization. I'm not saying you need to be one organization. You can be an umbrella, and everybody still has your specializations in there. But then if you're presenting yourself to a donor, for example, you have more variety to present to the donor, because you can say, look, we are this umbrella, but we can give you so much because we have so many in us. In that regard, rather than because the effort to even go to a donor individual is quite a huge effort. It is huge.
Yeah. Thank you, Marek. Any more questions from the audience, written or any more? Have we exhausted our questions? Right. I'm being signaled. I think we've exhausted the time, and it's been very productive and fruitful. I guess we all can attest to that fact. So thank you very much. I know we still have a lot more in us to share, so let's keep engaging. That's why we are here. Let's keep engaging. The panel discussion is over, but the engagement has just started. So let's keep engaging. Let's keep sharing. Let's keep asking for the benefit of our organizations and our societies as well. So thank you. This brings us to the end of the panel discussion. And we'll take a very short break, and then we'll have a session for a breakout session where we'll look at proposal writing tips for sponsorships and grants and support for funding social impact ventures. So we're going to have 2 groups discuss that, and the other doing developing business model for social impact ventures. So let's take a 5-minute break. Yeah. All right. Okay, refreshment rather. And so after that, we zoom into the breakout session. Thank you very much, panel, for your time.
Yeah.
Right. The very final session takes this form. We're going to have two groups discuss two topics simultaneously. So the first one is tips for proposal writing, sponsorship, and support for social impact ventures. So please use the next few seconds to look at that topic. If you are interested in that, you meet right here. So you will face where the panel had the discussion. And the second group will look at business model for social impact ventures. And they will go after the cameraman where the kitchen area is. So we will face there, and the first group will face the side, opposite ends, so that we don't disturb the other group. Is that clear? So 10 seconds to decide which ones we want to. On one sheet, and what can be improved, or what wasn't right, what wasn't so good on another sheet, separate. We'll come for them after your reflection. And whilst you do that, we have an artist here who will crown it all with an a cappella, a freestyle, something for us to relax while the reflection and the feedback happens. So Tana is his name. He will entertain us for some few minutes. Please don't forget to write what was positive and not so good.
Good afternoon, everybody. At least we have to be a little happy, you understand? Yeah, I see everybody look good and, you know, joy at the face of everybody here. So I have a music to present it for Young African Leaders Network, Ghana. Marabara, Tamara, Marabara, Tamara, ha. Marabara, Marabara, oh, Marabara, oh, Marabara. Who mijari tawa to be a kinadu, tawakina madu, do maradu, maradara, oh, maradara, yeah. Maradara, African Young Leaders Network, oh Ghana, Chimaradara, everybody, Maradara. Can I hear your voice? Maradara, 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 oh, hey, oh, say Maradara. Brothers and sisters, Maradara. Let me hear you. Come on, let's do like this. Maradara, oh, Maradara, yeah, Maradara, Maradara, oh, yeah, African Young Leaders Network, Ghana, This is what I have for you this afternoon. I'm very happy with this. Yeah, man. Thank you.
But what's the meaning? Tell us. What does it mean?
You know, Maradara means like the way I find you guys that you have something to give the world. So I'm praying for God to help you guys, to push you to achieve your goal for the world because of what you have in your mind.
Thank you for the inspiration. Thank you, Tana. That was, yeah, we'll take that with us. Maradara. Yeah. Okay, so I have the envelope ready. I will take the positive, and Rashid will take not so good. I don't want to call that.
Okay, not so good.
What can be improved?
What can
And it remains
be
anonymous.
improved
You
will
just
go
write
here?
it.
What was good goes in there.
More papers.
What's in your market? Which one is that? It's my Fulani cap. Abuchi hat. Not so good.
Richard, what are you doing right? Reggie, you come.
Reggie has supposed to.
So, what can we do for young African leaders tonight, this afternoon? Come forward small. No, I mean, be inside, but come forward. Come forward. Yeah, let's do something creative. Can we say something for the young African leaders?
Learn, lead, impact.
Okay, let's do it. 1, 2, go.
Learn, lead, impact.
1, 2, go.
Learn, lead, impact.
Thank you very much, guys.